Welcome to Thriving with Nature, a podcast that gives you the tools you need to live a modern lifestyle that helps regenerate our planet. And now your host, Hayley Weatherburn.
Episode 55, The Reality of Doing This Far Away. Good morning, Thrivers, and welcome back to this week's episode. I wanted to share a bit of reality, something that's, happening for me. I had a bit of not a great day yesterday, and there's not much I can do. Basically, I'm up here in the jungles, as you know, embarking on this journey. I've got a piece of land. I want to build gardens, my home, and eventually, in the bigger expansion of it all, a Thriving with Nature farm that has centropic agroforestry. I can see a compost exchange for the village. I can see a cafe, nursery, and an area where we can do education. Yeah, I'm really excited by the vision, but it's going to take time. But yesterday I was sort of sitting and doing some planning up in my bamboo lookout, and I tried to reach out. I wanted to show my dad, who's in Tasmania, a bit of what I'm doing, my plans, my ideas, my concepts. Because I know for a fact that if we were on the same land, on the same, country, in the same country, my dad would be here helping in any way he could with planning and, he'd be that person that I could bounce ideas off, and he'd come in and he'd help. He likes to get in and help. At the moment, he's helping my stepsister and their family put in a chicken coop, which is awesome. But the reality, I called him up and they were busy doing the chicken coop, and the signal wasn't great where he was, and so I had to hang up, and I had a bit of tears because this journey I've chosen to take on. No one else has made me or whatever, and I know it's not an easy one. It's a new path. I've never done this before. But it was just, it made me a little sad that the reality is I don't know when my dad can come and see the land because of COVID and borders being shut down, and it could literally be until 2022 that I see them again. That's my whole family. I've got my brother, my mum, my dad. I've got one brother here, which is really awesome. So that helps get a family fix, and I think I'll have to catch up with him soon. But it's, when I was sitting and making this decision of where I do the land, this is something that I thought about, knowing they can't just come and help really easily. And I made the decision to come here and be in this property. I felt very drawn to this area. I definitely wasn't drawn to anywhere in Australia. I love Australia. But for this vision, there's this gut feeling of doing this here. And one of the sacrifices is, not being close to your family. However, on the flip side of that, I have formed a beautiful community, a beautiful bond. We call it the Mountain Family up here. And I got to spend time with them. Norm and his family, Norm's helping guide me in the right direction. He's given material for me to read and look at to help make some decisions on where I put things. He's nudging me. I see him as my Jedi and I'm just a Padawan, if anyone follows Star Wars. So, I had lunch with the family, and we played a bit of ping pong, and it lifted my spirits. It's nice. I don't feel lonely, and I don't feel like I'm alone. I just miss my family. That's the truth of it. But I feel supported, so supported up here. I have an Indonesian family, like a Balinese family, and, the local community of, we call ourselves bules, tourists, people that aren't originally from Bali. There's a little community of us up here, so they're my mountain fam. And so that's really lovely. I don't think I would be up here if that hadn't already been somewhat established. So that's the reality of it all. I mean, these journeys that we take on you can't do it on your own. You can. You can go out into a forest and be completely on your own and build things. But I think the beauty is in the moments. I was reading yesterday in the Permaculture Bill Mollison book that in the beginnings of the Methods of Design chapter, and if Norm, you're listening to this, see, I am doing the work. It said, in permaculture design, it's about the relationships between the components that are important, not just the components themselves. And you can either have a set of components in your design that just they don't help one another, and they actually cause a loss of energy from man work, from how it's set up. It can actually destroy in long term, be degrading to the property. Or you can put the components in a certain way that helps keep the natural flow of nature, which is to regenerate, to thrive. So I see that as well. The people around you can either help destroy your vision or build your vision. And I have this beautiful Balinese family that's very supportive, the landowner and his family. And I have Norm and his family, and also a beautiful group of other people up here as well that are, voting my victory. So, and I think it's important. You need that community. Nature doesn't grow on its own. No single ant goes out to the forest and builds its nest. No, not even, the species. They all sort of help one another. Flowers don't pollinate without the bees and the insects. It's together we're better. And it is in those moments when I can't be together with the family that it's a bit tough. But I will get through it. Thank God for video calls. I did eventually get on the call with my dad and went through my visions, and it was just nice to share. And he's equally sad that he can't get here. It's just one of those situations, as any of you are here alive on this planet right now in COVID and live away from your family. This is just, there's a lot of us who haven't seen our family in over a year. And we're getting to the longest time that I have spent ever away from my family. So that is the reality of learning to thrive with nature sometimes. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. It's not as uplifting and as positive and exciting as they normally are, but I just want to show the reality and the truth of the moments, and also remind myself that when I do succeed and I look back at this, I can really appreciate the journey, really appreciate how far I came. So let's do this. It's time to start today and move forward. I hope you have an amazing weekend, everyone, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Hey, if you enjoyed listening to my podcast, remember to subscribe to hear more. You also have to come check out the Living Supplement Garden, a garden that reads your individual's body's condition and grows the substances it requires to move towards optimal health and potentially healing your ailments. When we align with nature, we thrive with nature. I'd love to have you join myself and others as we discover the magic of nature together and strive to heal both ourselves and our planet. Go to thrivingwithnature.com.